Are you facing one of life's giants right now? You know, some major problem that has you seriously questioning whether you will make it through or not? Is the problem so huge that you wonder what will be left of you after going through the battle? Today, I'm going to share with you how it is that we can face life's giants with courage and confidence. Hey friends, I'm Jeremiah Porter, host of Project Lighthouse. I would love for you to join us here at Project Lighthouse. Subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified every time we post new videos. Several years ago, I had the privilege of going to Israel and standing in the field where the Israelites once lined up for war against the Philistines and the fiercest warrior ever known to man at the time, Goliath. The story is found in the Bible in the book of 1 Samuel chapter 17. It says of Goliath that he was over 9 feet tall, and that between his sheer size and strength and the armor and weapons he wielded, he was virtually undefeatable. Knowing how intimidating he was, he would shout across the field to the Israelites, taunting them, stirring more and more fear in them. Someone would have to fight Goliath, but no man in the camp had the courage to face this giant. They were all terrified. Without there being a fight, the Israelites felt small and defeated. They didn't think there was any hope. They saw no way of victory over the giant. What kind of giant are you facing today? Is it the giant of cancer or COVID? Or some other disease? Is it the giant of a lost job and being able to provide for your family? Is it the giant of low self-esteem? What about the giant of loneliness? Or how about the giant of regret? Maybe it's some other giant that I haven't mentioned yet. Are you feeling like this particular giant is just too big, too strong, too ruthless? Are you feeling like there's no way you will be able to overcome this giant? Perhaps you've tried but have failed so far to slay the giant or giants in your life. Are you thinking it's time to give up hope, to give up trying, maybe to give up on life itself? The Israelites were on the verge of giving up when God brought David, a young shepherd boy, to the battlefield. David was bringing food to his brothers who were in the army when he hears Goliath taunting the Israelites and the Israelites shaking in fear. David fearlessly inquires about this giant. At one point, he says to some of the men, "Who is this outsider that he should defy the armies of the living God?" And right there, we are given our first clue as to what was unique about this young boy, David. David knew whose he was. David knew whose he was. He and the rest of those on the battlefield were part of an army not belonging to a nation or a human king, but belonging to the living God. We are God's army. God is on our side. This giant is no match for our God. Knowing whose he was a huge part of David's courage. The next thing we see is David going to King Saul and requesting to be allowed to go out and kill this giant. Can you imagine this young boy coming to you? There is just no fear in him. And when King Saul tried to tell David he was too young and unqualified to battle the giant, David responded with all the ways in which he had learned to fight the impossible and overcome. As a shepherd boy, he had to fight off lions and bears when they would attack the flock of sheep. And then David says this, "The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine." And right here we are given a second clue as to what was unique about this boy, David. David knows God can deliver him. How does he know this? Well, he remembers past experiences where God came through, times when David overcame impossible enemies like lions and bears. There's no way a young boy should have been able to defeat these giants of predators. Yet, with God's strength, David did. David knows that if God helped him defeat giants before, he can do it again. How has God worked in your life in the past? What giants have you been able to overcome or find a way past because God was helping you? Can you, like David, lean into those experiences and trust God once again? If God defeated giants in your life before, don't you believe he can do it again? But, you might say, the giants I'm facing today are so much bigger than those in the past. And you know what? I believe you. I'm sure they are. Goliath was bigger than anything David had faced. But, like David, each time we overcome a bigger giant, our faith grows. Can you trust that just as God was big enough then, he is big enough now? Well, finally, David is face to face with this fearsome giant with nothing but a sling and a few stones from the nearby river. When this young boy approaches Goliath, Goliath laughs and mocks him. But David confidently responds, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." Then David proceeds to slay the giant with the very first stone slung. Everything about this encounter is totally unconventional. There's no way David should have been able to defeat Goliath. There's certainly no way the fight should have been over so quickly. But David trusted the Lord, trusted God's size and strength and wisdom and plan. He knew the battle belonged to God. Without God, there would be no victory. But with God, victory was guaranteed. God did it. David was simply the tool God used to do it. Is your confidence in God as big as David's? A big view of God enables us to look at our giants in the face and declare victory before the battle is even finished. So, if you are not certain that God can enable you to overcome the giants in your life, you need to take some time to get to know God. Read David's story again in 1 Samuel 17. Read the Israelites' story in the book of Exodus when God over and over again came through, helping them to overcome the impossible odds of escape from Egypt. Reflect back on times when God delivered you through battles against life's giants. Know God, remember God, trust God, and go with God. If you do not yet have relationship with God through Jesus Christ, I would love the opportunity to talk with you. Perhaps you have some questions about what it means to follow Jesus, or maybe you are ready to start following Jesus today. Please feel free to email me by clicking the link in the description below. If you'd like to watch more videos related to overcoming giants in your life, check out a message series I shared with my church last year titled, "Not Today, Satan." You'll find a link to these videos in the description below. I love you. Jesus loves you. I'll see you next time.